Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 492, recorded on August 22nd, 2024. On this week's episode, we have actually quite a few news articles because Nintendo opened up a museum and they're shutting down Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, and we are going to talk about Nintendo saving the industry. That's it. Jesse, you know what to do.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 492 of Nintendo Dads. Thank you for putting us in your ear hole. We appreciate that. I almost called us low energy dads tonight because
We're all so
talking
tired.
before the show started, and well, life happens this week and happened this week, and all of us are depleted of energy. We need e-tanks. We need some. We need some walnut mushrooms or something. I don't know. Maybe they could sponsor the show. We get some kind of crazy adaptogenic mushroom coffee or something to sponsor the show. I'll speak it into existence.
That sounds good.
Joining me on the show this week is Mr. Timothy Off. How you doing, buddy?
Well, like you said, we were talking about it earlier. We're all a little tired. Just I can't pinpoint what it is. Maybe just extra busy at work and trying to keep up with stuff there and trying to keep it within my normal 8 to 9 hours that I work without going over. So trying to keep up with that sometimes can be draining. But other than that, I've been trying to maintain that so I can keep balance, do other things at home, and be able to play some games. So, and that's why I'm here to talk about that with you guys.
Cool.
How about you, Marty? How are you doing?
Man, it's been a weird week. Started classes back, so been in that. We're preparing for a big fall kickoff retreat that we always do on Labor Day weekend, so that's next weekend, and trying to get some games in, which has not really happened and probably won't happen next week either. But also joining us on the show this week, Mr. Jesse Waldack, the sound wave of our group.
Sometimes. I would have triggered it, but I have the volume low because of the background music still playing.
Completely understand. How you doing, buddy?
They would fight. I'm in the same situation as Tim was with work. Just a lot going on at once, and I just got an email from my boss's boss's boss asking me and our support guy to come up with a pitch that he can present to his boss next week. I'm like, oh no. So
what he's saying is he wants that memo about that candy varnish or that cereal varnish on his desk, something for the trade show.
Something like that. That can't be too technical because we're, like five levels above me right now. So
wow. That feels important.
That's a lot of levels for considering where you're at.
It is a lot of levels.
There's
Robo Jesse can help you get it taken care of, I'm sure.
Yes.
Tim, as you introduced the show this week, you said we've got actual news to talk about, and lo and behold, the dam finally broke this week, and we've actually got things to talk about. And so, with that being said, let's hop straight over to our news, shall we?
We shall.
And our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you will be able to join up with the greatest community on the internet, just like our new friends or old friends returning back to the patron of the show, to be patrons of the show, Travis LeClaire and Stephen Purvis. Thank you guys for hopping in over there. And with Stephen joining up, that means that we have now reached our 10 out of 10 new patron goal. For me to have to wear Pokemon Crocs for a month. And sadly, I hate to report that all Pokemon Crocs in my size are sold out right now. Oh darn.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Cute. I hate it. I really do.
Well, you let me know and when they come out, and I can go to the store we have here, the
You have a
Croc
Crocs
store.
store?
Yes,
You have a Crocs
and
store.
go. I'll walk right in there and get the size you need
Well,
and send them
here's the
right to
thing.
you.
I think that they're all sold out because they had a general Pokemon design before this,
Okay.
and now they're transitioning over to have the four, that they're going to have moving forward: Jigglypuff, Gengar, Snorlax, and
Okay.
Charizard. So
Yep.
those are supposed to drop sometime this month. As soon as they do, I will try to order some online.
Gotcha.
We will have the Gengar Crocs because that's how I
That's
roll.
right.
And
Gengar.
I will post updates of me wearing them in different places for a month. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
I love it. I really do. But
Yes. Thanks
anyway,
for showing up. But yes, for sure. All of everybody just you guys. I don't think we were really expecting that,
no,
right?
I didn't. I didn't. That's why I
Everybody
said
showed up and
I,
we're
I,
like, "Here you go."
I was expecting 10 over time, but I wasn't expecting like 7 to show up that
Yeah,
first
that
week.
that
yeah.
quickly. Yeah.
Well, it's really cool. And look, we love all of our patrons over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Whether you're at the $1, $5, $10, or $30 per month level. And also you can get in there and you can be a patron of the show by paying yearly, and that saves you a good chunk of change. It saves you an entire month. All right. So if you're one of those higher tier people, like the $5, you want all the sub channels in the Discord, or you want the pre and post show audio, or you want to be a Patreon producer, you could save. But let me pause here for just a minute and say something to our patrons of the show, or whether you are new or whether you are thinking about joining up. Unfortunately, beginning this November, Patreon is going to change the way that they collect funds. And if you're currently a patron of the show, you don't have to worry about this. But if you are an iOS user and you are thinking about joining up through the Patreon app, listen up. Starting in November, the very first day of November, Apple is going to be charging an additional 30, or they're going to make Patreon charge an additional 30% uh, to cover Apple's 30% take of any purchase made through iOS. Patreon alerted to us about a week or so ago that there was not going to be, they're not allowing any alternate forms of payment. It all has to come through Apple's channels, which, y'all, I'm an Apple guy, you know that, but this is really scummy. It's really crappy that they're doing this. In fact, they just went through a big antitrust thing over in Europe with Epic, where Epic won, and now Fortnite's back on the Epic store over there. Then there's actually alternate app stores and things that you can get games through now. I wish that would happen here, but it's not. We're getting the raw end of the deal, that extra 30%. So just take, for instance, your normal $1 a month subscription. If you went and did that yearly, that would cost up to $14 and some change with tax. And we don't like that. We don't want that to happen to you. So here's what we're going to ask you to do. If you're joining up and you're an iOS user, go through the website. All right. If you go through the website, you still get the same benefits, but you do not get the fee. When you go and log on to the Patreon app on the iOS, you'll still get the benefits of being a patron. You'll just not have to pay that stupid 30% iOS tax. And so that only, again, that only applies to new patrons. Current patrons, you will continue to be charged the same way, the same price. It will not, there won't be a 30% taken out of that. However, if you ever stop something happens, like you decide, hey, I don't want to be a patron anymore for a while, you need to drop it because of financial reasons, whatever it is, when you come back to that, or if your card declines or something goes wrong, the next time you have to re-up, you're going to get that 30% fee if you use the iOS app. So, Android users, you're in the clear. Tim's like, woo, right? You're in the clear. You don't have to worry about this. iOS users, use the patreon.com website to sign up. All right. Starting November 1st. You could sign up now. It's not going to affect you. Starting November, you're going to hear us say this over and over and over again. Either sign up using the app on Android or on the website on iOS or your computer. We want you to save money, which is why we also give you that $30 or that 1 month free if you pay for the year. And all patrons of the show get an ad-free feed in their inbox. You can head over to Patreon either on the app or on the website and find your ad-free feed, drop it right in your podcatcher of choice, and you'll get ad-free episodes, which who doesn't want ad-free episodes, right? So there you go. Patreon.com/NintendoDads. Thank you for the Pokemon Crocs. And thank you for being fans of the show and supporting us and helping all kinds of good things happen over here. All right. Now to the news. This week, we got our first look at the Nintendo Museum, which is going to open in Japan, October 2nd, 2024. Miyamoto gave us our first look with a little walking tour. Of course, they didn't show everything, but I thought that what they showed was really stinking cool. What about you guys?
Yeah, I was impressed with what they showed, and it like I think I think they said there was going to be 8 interactive exhibits, and they only showed 3 of them. And
Yes.
so there's still 5 things we don't know about, and they said like the entire experience would last like 3 hours, and like they with your admission you get the 10 digital coins that gets put on your badge, but there's more than 10 things to do, so you can't even do everything in one trip. So in order to do everything, you're going to have to make multiple trips.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
And it makes sense. They want the line to keep moving. They don't want people to just bum out around all day.
I think that's really smart planning. Jesse already alluded to this. The experience, the second floor of the museum is kind of a walk through history of Nintendo as a company, all the way back from Hanafuda cards through things like the Ultra Machine and toys that they made, all the way up to today with the Switch. The first floor is where there's the interactive exhibits, and there's actually a dedicated app that people will use like walking around. Like there's a floor that's a giant screen, and you can play a game with the app there. You can also play with historical Nintendo home consoles and their peripherals, even though they're giant sized, which I thought was really cool. The giant sized Wii remote and Nintendo 64 controller. There's also in those games, there's mini games based on toys that Nintendo released in the 60s, like Ultra Machine. And then there's also a shooting gallery.
I didn't even know of the Ultra Machine, and that looked pretty epic, for an indoor baseball thrower.
Yeah, and all the little things, move and do stuff. They react as if you hit the ball in the right place.
Yeah, I
thought that was neat.
When I watched it, I was watching Roger's reaction to it, and he was like, "Oh no, he's going to break something in that room." And then he hit the bottles and saw the Mario and Luigi rotate. And he goes, "Oh, that is cool."
You are supposed to hit things.
Yes.
I really, we were talking about this before the show about the Zapper and the Super Scope, that they have modernized that into a shooting gallery with all kinds of Mario characters and things. You're shooting paintballs at them, and you actually compete with other people in the room. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and I there's both enemies and friends in the board. I saw one person, the person to Miyamoto's right, accidentally hit Mario, and Mario did the game over type of pose and fall. But instead of getting plus points, you saw the big red X.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah. That's
that he was not a valid target.
Right. So that's not all you're going to be able to do at the museum. They have a creative play area where you'll be able to make a personalized Hanafuda card, which I thought was pretty cool. And there's also an exhibit there where people who don't know the rules of the game can play the game using image recognition and projection technology. So it'll actually teach people who come to the museum how to play that. There is a place to eat there. where you can get a customized hamburger and special drinks, where there's like Nintendo touches scattered throughout there, like stained glass art from Zelda, Mario style
Oh,
brick booths,
yeah,
posters
I
for
took a
New Horizon.
I sent a picture of that stained glass art to my family in our chat because our youngest daughter does stained glass work.
I thought that looked
So
really cool.
so
Yeah.
There's also, of course, like any museum, there will be a place to shop. It's called Bonus Stage. It will sell official Nintendo themed merchandise, using company branding from around the world and featuring characters of Nintendo games. And there will also be limited edition items that are only available at the Nintendo Museum as well. So who's going? Is my question. I
It- it-
can't fly internationally, so I will never be able to go. And before anybody asks, that is not because like, I'm not on some like no fly list or anything, except
What'd
for
you
my
do,
doctor.
Marty?
I had a pulmonary embolism and almost died in 2010, and my doctor
Yeah.
told me never fly internationally for long periods of time again. So I will never be able to see this, unfortunately, uh, unless I take a death trip to Japan. Like I'll survive the trip and then go die somewhere.
That's not
That was really morbid. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring it to bring the show down. But really, I mean, like, are you guys? You think you will go to this at some point?
we might 'kay, we want to do a trip to Japan for our 20th wedding anniversary, which will be in 4 years in October. So we don't yet know if we want to do just kind of with a general tour, which is highly scheduled, and I think that would help us get things done, but would also limit us in what we can do. Or if we try to freeform it, then we're going to think of things to do. But like if presuming we spend most of our time in Tokyo, the bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto is like a 2.5 hour trip, which so we could make you know the one morning train over to Kyoto, spend the day there, and then hotel in Kyoto one night, and then bullet train back to Tokyo the next day or something like
Sure,
that.
surely in 4 years the line will have gone down, right?
I would hope
Yeah.
so.
Well, hopefully too, I think there's tour groups that you could still do to see the things you want to see that offer free time that allows you to do, or either a free time or free day, where okay, here's the things we're doing in 1 day or 2 days, and then here's a day for you to go do what you want to do.
Yeah, we've got to definitely have to do research on what we can
Yeah.
and can't do and in our
I
planning.
I definitely want to go. I would love to go see that, but I'm not about that long flights. So, uh,
Yeah, isn't it like? I mean, I think anywhere from the U.S. is it not like an entire day to get
pretty much, I think, yeah.
to Japan? I mean, I know that it's a commitment,
You're right.
right?
Yeah.
To get there.
And
That
I already get anxious when I'm on short flights. So, like, I get in the mindset to where like, okay, I know we're almost done, or I'm talking, I usually end up talking to somebody. I always bring my Switch with me, and it always ends up like I'm gonna play this game. I never end up playing a game because I'm either talking to somebody or something else happens
mhm.
to where I don't play it. But yeah, it's like there's a lot of time you would have to kill there, and I'd have to bring a lot of distractions.
Yeah, I actually went to United just to pick an airline and said, if I wanted to fly to Tokyo, what does it look like? Uh, yeah, if I I would have to leave the Kansas City airport. The flight would take off 9:25 to go to Denver, 1 hour layover, and then I would land in Tokyo at 2:45 in the afternoon the next day. That is also taken into account time zones, but it's a total of like 15 hours of airtime.
That's crazy. So
And
Marty,
round trip was $1,100, and that's the economy class. If I go up to business class, it's over $8,000, and that's just one person.
right? Marty, Ninfrendo suggested take a cruise to Japan.
Yeah, I'll just leave. I'll leave 2 weeks ahead of time and meet you guys there. Right. I
Right,
mean,
Take a
that's
take a
fine. I
boat.
mean, it's a good idea. I don't mind it.
right.
I
I'm
like going on a cruise.
I'm trying to see how long that is.
I mean,
How long of a trip that
it's
is,
got to be a week. I mean,
right?
you know, it took 3 days. Well, no, we were on a 4 night cruise. I think a 4 night. Yeah, it was a 4 night cruise. We went from here to Cozumel, or from Mobile, Alabama to Cozumel. And that's still, I mean, it was 2 days down and 2 days back. So
Let's see.
anyway, that's all. That's
10,
a
10 days and 13 hours.
okay. I could do that. Yeah.
Royal Caribbean's is 16
I
days
mean,
from Seattle to Tokyo.
it's just a month of my life, right? I mean, like 10 days there, 10 days back, and time in Japan. I mean, it's just an entire month. I mean, I
That's
don't have any responsibilities.
I guess give it's an option though, you know. It's like
Here's
okay,
my hope. Here's my hope, right? Is
yeah,
that a Nintendo museum eventually opens in
yeah,
America as
that
well.
would be cool.
Here's the golden question though, before we move on and talk about other stuff. Is the Gulf War Game Boy in the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto?
It probably is,
Yeah, they took it out of the
which
store,
which is
so
why it wasn't in the New York store anymore.
I was so disappointed when I went, because I remember reading about the Gulf War Game Boy in Nintendo Power as a kid.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, it's in the Nintendo store. I'm going to get to see it. And then it's like, no, you're not. Here's a giant statue of you know, the
Here's
Master
every
Sword.
amiibo.
That wasn't even every amiibo, Jesse. I was disappointed. I really think that the only place in America that you could see every amiibo right now all at once is the Blanc's
my
house.
house, my house.
Or say IGN headquarters, Pierce
Here,
Snyder's
here's
house.
here's Schneider's
Yes, there you
house.
go.
That's all the Joy-Cons that have
Next,
ever
yeah, I
been
would say
made.
next to his Joy-Con collection.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if you're going to go to the Nintendo Museum, let us know. We would love to know and help you. Not help you on your journey. We don't have any money for that. But you can help us. You can take pictures. You can do some video while you're over there. Be
Well,
the man on the ground.
photograph responsibly. I'm sure there are some exhibits they will not allow it.
They
Oh,
probably
I'm
have
sure.
camera things on there. I was gonna say if they do open it up one here, say in Seattle, you know, near the headquarters, we should make a promise that we all go. No matter if we have the show still
Oh,
going or
sure,
not, we
sure,
should
sure.
all meet up there and go.
Definitely. If for some reason it never, the show ends and it opens over here, we're going. And if the show's still going, and we're not saying the show's ending, folks. That's not what
Right.
we're shooting for. Okay,
And
it's not.
I don't think we mentioned it yet, but this museum is in the same building that used to be like their Hanafuda card factory.
Yeah.
Yes, I did think that was really a nice touch, right?
They use the same property and just
Yeah,
repurpose it.
they
Yeah.
showed a picture of the outside today versus what it looked like back in the
Yes,
40s. I don't know
yes.
how old that picture was.
I thought he was when he started. He said. I thought it was like in
He
77.
said that he
That would have been
remembered.
77.
Yeah.
I did like he said. I remember going here
Yeah.
many times, and it brought back a ton of nostalgia. So even Miyamoto has nostalgia out there, So that's really cool. Here's something though that might cause a little nostalgia. Nintendo announced today that they will shut down the servers for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which is their mobile version of Animal Crossing. Free to play will shut down on November 28th, 2024 at 3 p.m. UTC. Now, y'all, this game, I didn't know this. I'm glad Jesse put it in our notes. This game has been around since 2017.
I think Tim did.
Tim, thank you, Tim. Somebody put it in our notes. Whoever, it's okay.
The
But
magic
yeah,
note taker.
3 p.m. UTC, I believe, is 10 a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
I
So
think
10 a.m. Eastern,
this is
November
not
28th.
daylight. This is after daylight saving time ends, so there's a 5 hour difference between UTC and Eastern time.
So you two can try to hang on to Animal Crossing and be online when it goes down and see what happens.
I'm sure
Um,
we'll get somebody to do that, dude.
However, the good news in this, there's a ray of sunshine in the bad news. Pocket Camp and all player save data will live on in a new form because Nintendo has promised to release a brand new paid offline version that will have the same basic gameplay and controls as Pocket Camp with no in-app purchases. So that means it won't support the Pocket Camp Club subscription or the Leaf Tickets microtransaction, but all of the items, they did say we will continue to support Pocket Camp with new items up until the date of its closing. And in October of 24, we will give details on what this new version will be, how much it will be, when it will come out, all that stuff. So it will work on offline, so you won't have to be online to play it. Game saves will be transferred between the versions via a Nintendo account. So you have to have a Nintendo account, which I think you already do to play it. You have to have a Nintendo account. Um, and so I like, this is a 50-50, right? Like there's going to be some people who are really upset by this. In fact, there are people who are already upset about this. Polygon reported today that there were a lot of people who were disappointed in the shutdown, but there were some who said, well, the offline mode is best case scenario for this, right? Like if they're going to shut the servers down, at least we're going to be able to continue to play. Um, with a quote saying, it's heartening to see a developer pull the plug on one of their games in a way that respects both their own creation and players' investment in it. Because again, people have been playing this for 7 years.
I think Square Enix can learn some lessons here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about this for a minute. Did you guys have you played Pocket Camp? I think we've talked about this before. I know we have. But remind people, did you play Pocket Camp? Are you still playing Pocket Camp? And what do you think the future for this looks like?
I did play it. I dropped off when they started implementing more of the currency stuff, or where there was more changes in like the what was it called? The club subscription you could get. I dropped off right around that time. So I'm not playing it anymore, but I actually am intrigued by the offline side of it so that I can just play without having to worry about any currencies or anything like that other than what's in the game.
Never played it.
Really? Okay. See, because and here's the thing. I mean, maybe it's the microtransactions or whatever, or the mobile part of it that turned you off, Jesse. But I actually feel like this is your type of game. Like you dip into it a little bit, you mess around, you build relationships, you get the stuff, and then when you're done, you're done.
I don't know. Yeah, I played New Leaf and played New Horizons, got to a point where I did mostly everything that I can do, and then I just stopped playing it. So I don't know if this will bring me back or not to play the mobile version.
Yeah,
I do play some mobile games, but they're normally they're mobile games. They're not a console game that I play mobile.
sure.
There is a distinction there.
I wonder
Yeah,
if they'll bring this to the Switch. Like if it's gonna be a paid version of it.
That is very possible.
That'd be
I don't
interesting.
know. You know what would be really a really good get for this is if you got it with your Nintendo Switch Online subscription.
There you go. So that you don't actually buy it, you get it with the subscription.
Yep. But if
I
you
have a feeling it might be expansion pack, but still, it's better
well,
than
that's
nothing.
what I meant. That's what I was referring to. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, put it in the expansion pack.
Yeah, well, very similar to what they did with the current Animal Crossing DLC.
I would think
I can see
that
that.
that you could have a mobile version on phones and a Switch version that existed alongside each other.
Yeah, I
That
mean they had the Pokemon games that have done that. So
they that there's one that's paywalled, whatever, behind the NSO expansion pack, and then there's one that you can pay for on your mobile device. Either
And if
way,
they
you're
use the
making
same
money off
account,
of it.
you can share data. You know, share data.
Sure, sure. Uh, so I remember playing Pocket Camp, but it's been so long I can't even remember what it's like. Other than I know that you had to like do quests, and there was like get this much of this, or get this, or fix this, or whatever, to build different things for your little camp, and make people happy or whatever. I just don't know if, like, for me, it's not anything that's going to draw me back to the game for it to be offline. But I would rather them just put the resources in developing a new Animal Crossing and save save the stuff to make it have a longer tail than
Oh,
what
I'm sure that's still happening.
New
Yeah.
Horizons did. Oh, I'm sure that I'm sure a new console Animal Crossing is in development, but I would like it. What I'm saying is, I would like it to have more DLC or more whatever that lasts longer than just a calendar year.
Right. Have you played any other versions of Animal Crossing? Like New Leaf was my first attempt at it. I didn't play the
Yeah,
GameCube
I
version
did the one on the
or the Wii.
DS, which was that New Leaf?
New Leaf
New
was
Leaf was on the
3DS.
was 3DS. I played that one. I did the one on GameCube
Wild
as
World, I
well.
think, was the DS.
Yeah,
Yep.
I did that one. I did the one on GameCube. And it just, like, I don't know, like with those games, like it always felt like there was more to find, more to explore. It felt like the progression of it. But also, none of those
Yeah.
games released during a worldwide pandemic where everyone was stuck inside
Right.
Right.
and constantly on their devices.
But the GameCube version was basically the grandfather of Virtual Console.
Well, that's true. I remember those games. That's what I'm talking about. Like it felt like there was always something else to find,
You know, as you mentioned the GameCube one, I remember that my oldest was playing it when she was younger, played it a lot, and I just looked at it like, what is this thing? What is this game that you're playing? And you could, have other people have their own accounts and
Yep.
then interact with you while you were playing. But it just, when I watched her play it, I just didn't get it. It was like,
Yeah.
that
And then
sounds boring.
and if all the players are playing on the same memory card, you can leave messages to each other.
Yep. Yep. Her,
Yep.
her and my wife did that. They would, when she would jump in there and do that kind of stuff. So, uh, I thought that was cool.
Was it a shared island, or did everyone still have their own island?
It was a shared island, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because everybody had their own house. You could go walk into their house
Okay.
and go see them sleeping, if I remember correctly.
It's creepy.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and watch you sleep while you're not
Right.
playing the game.
Just go sit there and you're looking
Our community asks a question. David
Stalking
Balika.
101.
at.
David Balika says, now that Nintendo is shutting down Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, people will have time to buy and read Kelsey Lewin's who's a former guest on our show, book on Animal Crossing. It is listed for sale on Pink Gorilla Games and available at Boss Fight Books. Wishing my friend and former VGHF boss the best on her book launch. So go check out the book. It is, let's look it up. I want to be sure that we get the title of that correct.
Yeah, and if Mecca is there, I told him because he's in Seattle. I said, "You're in Seattle, go to Pink Gorilla Games because they have stores there."
Yeah,
And say
it's
hi to
actually
Kelsey for us.
the book is just called Animal Crossing.
Yep.
So there you go. This is the story of how a mundane sounding game full of bug catching, letter writing, and furniture collecting became one of Nintendo's best loved franchises. 256 pages, 15.95. So that it is
Reasonably
available
priced.
right now. Yes, absolutely. So this is not a pre-order. It's available right now by Kelsey Lewin. Again, that is Pink Gorilla Games or Boss Fight Books. You can get a copy there. And we'll put the link in the show notes for those of you who look at those. So you can find that. Other news this week, the Game Awards date has been announced for December 12th this year. December 12th, 2024. Of course, Game Awards are the annual awards extravaganza hosted by Jeff Keighley.
We're going, right? We're all going there live.
Yeah, I mean, I got my invitation yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Um,
That's what I'm
I
talking
don't
about. We all got our invitations. We're all going, right?
know where I'm not going to that. Anyway, some business news. The industry, the video game industry has had a tough year, 2024, but there has been an uptick in portable gaming. Consumers seem to be excited about upgrading their Switch for something new, according to recent polls. And GTA 5, while it's been the best selling game for the past 10 years, analysts believe that GTA 6 will not only push numbers for Take Two, but it will also help bump Sony and Microsoft numbers when it finally releases. Um, I don't,
Because they
I'm
also
not a
take the
huge,
30% cut, like we talked about iOS
yeah,
doing.
I'm not a huge fan of the GTA series.
Neither am I.
It doesn't do
In
anything.
fact, I played a little bit of 4, and then when I was doing my undergrad in the late 2000s, like 2007, 2008, I actually one of my papers was for my persuasion paper was why I thought GTA 4 should be rated adults only. I got an A on the paper.
I agree with you
Nice.
on that, but I know there's some who listen to us that might not. So there we go.
I I have a lot of fun. It's one of those things where I like the online portion more because I actually haven't played the single player campaigns. I liked it online because, believe it or not, probably bad parenting, but I played it with my kids online and we were just, driving around doing crazy stuff. My daughter's like, she's showing me around, my um middle daughter, and she's showing me around how she's become like a gangster leader, essentially, and stolen all these cars, has garages and garages full of cars, and just like goes around. And she hasn't done that in a while, but she had all
Yeah.
this money and all that kind of stuff, and it was crazy.
Yeah, I know my oldest played online for a while. To try to get my other two involved. They tried it. I don't think they liked it. But this is the GTA is the only game I would not buy for my kids. I told them you can wait until you're 17 and can buy it yourself, and they all did.
Yeah,
It's just the appeal of it. They had to have it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it
The,
goes.
the children long for the mines.
yeah. The oldest
But
is 25 now, so it's been 8 years.
I would like it if they would come out with a GTA classic type game. I mean, like the top down, because Chinatown Wars was my absolute favorite of the games. And I played through that, beat it, and all that kind of stuff. It was on the DS. And I would love it if they came out with another like Chinatown Wars 2 or a sequel to that. And it was still top down, the same type of graphics. The graphics look cool, sprite, with the dark outlines and all that kind of stuff.
you played Hotline Miami, right?
I know of it. I haven't played it yet, so
It's
I know
just
it's
GTA
just
on
it's
the
just
Switch.
GTA with the top
It's
down looking.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
We have GTA at home.
It's called Hotline Miami. Yeah. Well,
Yep.
we'll probably get. I mean, we're gonna. It's, at this point, it's gonna be what do we see news on first, GTA 6 or the Switch 2? So we'll, just
So
have to
yeah,
wait and
that's
see.
true. Yeah.
What did get revealed this week during Gamescom, though, is new Lego sets related to Nintendo properties, including the reveal of the long-awaited Mario Kart Legos, which disappointingly are just built into the same Super Mario Legos that you already have. So they're gonna, there are some that come with figures that new, but none of them are minifigures, and they're, they're that same style, I guess, as the other Mario ones. So 6 sets will be out in 2025. I think all of these are going to
Like
release at the same time.
really early January, isn't it?
January 2025. Yeah, like first couple weeks.
Like
There'll
what?
be the
They just missed the holiday season.
yeah, and I don't understand that, Jesse. That's a good point. Like hit these during Christmas. The Yoshi bike, which I think comes with Yoshi. I'm not sure. Standard cart, which is just the cart. It does not come with Mario or any characters. It's just like the standard cart that you see Mario driving all the time in the key art. Donkey Kong and the DK Jumbo, which comes with Donkey Kong, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, which are a set with their respective vehicles. Toad's Garage, which comes with a Toad and a car that he's working on, and then Baby Peach and the Grand Prix set will also be out as well. What is
That's the
your
biggest
hype?
one, right?
Yeah, what is your hype level for these, if any at all?
I'm excited for
Neil.
them. I'm excited for them, especially for. I mean, I might not be able to get the ones, or maybe I still will with the ones that require the Mario figures, the electronic ones.
Hmm.
But I like the garage one. I think that's cool, Toad's Garage.
Yeah.
And then and the Baby Peach and I'm sorry, the Baby Mario and Baby Luigi one. I think it's pretty funny looking too. So I'm trying to find good pictures of these, and it's hard to find pictures right
Nintendo's
now.
site doesn't even have good pictures of these.
Yeah.
I will say that they're not the only Legos that were revealed at Gamescom. Three new Animal Crossing sets will join the ones that are already out as well, and these are also out January 1st, as well as the Mario Kart sets. You can get Stargazing with Celeste, Animal Crossing Leaf's Caravan, which comes with like it's the camper with a little car,
Okay.
and the garden Leaf's Caravan and Garden Shop, sorry, and the Able Sisters clothing shop. So those will all be out at the
That's
same
cool.
time. According to Lego's website, which I just pulled up, they don't even have these listed. They
No.
still just have the teaser video that was shown about the Mario Kart Legos. The Animal Crossing site is not updated either. So we can't give any prices for these right now. But
Stay tuned.
based off of piece counts, we can make some projections. Like the Yoshi bike is 133 pieces. That's a $15 set or $19, maybe even $9.99. Like one of the low, the ones that are just in a little bitty box. And they
Yeah.
go up from there. The Mario Kart standard cart is 174 pieces. DK and DK Jumbo was 387. Mario Kart, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi is 321. Toad's Garage is 390. And then Baby Peach and Grand Prix set is 823 pieces. So it bumps up pretty
Yeah,
significantly.
that'll be
I
like
would expect
75
that was
bucks.
$79 right there because it's Baby Peach in a cart, Lemmy in a cart, and Toad on a bike with accessories.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean you're getting a bunch there. The Animal Crossing, they didn't even bother to do piece counts or accessories on those. They just showed a picture.
Yeah,
So
you're right
yeah.
about the Yoshi one. The Yoshi one is going to be 15.
Oh, where'd you find the pricing?
Uh, uh Nintendo Life.
Oh, okay.
Mario Kart Yoshi Bike is four, 14.99. Mario
Well,
Kart
are they giving
Standard
the price
Kart,
in euro or pound? Because there is a conversion difference.
both.
And Jesse, you were correct. 79.99 for Baby Peach. They're giving American prices on this because Verge is also reporting the same prices.
Okay.
On the Nintendo Life, they're showing both
Okay.
pounds and
Oh,
dollar.
okay. Gotcha.
Okay. But to say, if
So
they
it's
showed only
12.99
pounds and
pounds.
euros, the euros and dollars are closer to
Right.
one than the other one.
Yeah,
I have a
12.99 to pounds
full
and
price list here.
$14.99.
Is Yoshi's $15, Standard Cart's 20, Donkey Kong is 35, Baby Mario and Luigi are 30, Toad's Garage is 40, and Baby Peach and Grand Prix is 80.
I want
So
that Toad Garage. That looks so cool.
so I mean, my only problem with a lot of the Mario sets has been like, usually when you get a Lego like that's a themed Lego like Star Wars or Marvel or something, like you're building, like the thing that you're building is like a wall, like it's a wall and a floor, like it's a set, or if that's the only word I can think of for it, like a backdrop. The Mario Legos in particular have just been like a bunch of interconnected paths. And I don't like the place I would normally display my Legos really have room for those things.
Right.
I know there's a big Bowser Castle and there's like the Donkey Kong Treehouse and stuff, but then the rest of it's like the Animal Crossing. I was disappointed with that too. Is that there's not enough focus on like the actual building, and I think that in a way, and people can correct me or tell me I'm wrong on this if they want to. Now I think that the locations in Animal Crossing are almost as important as the characters that are associated with them. Like, Blathers is at the
Yeah.
museum. Tom Nook is at the Nook store.
Mhm.
Able Sisters are at the clothing, and it should be more than like this little thing that's like 2 inches tall to me. I Just my thing. So not for me, but I love that. If it's for you, I love that, and I hope that you have a fantastic time with those. I will be skipping those and getting the Deku Tree Lego and the Mario and Yoshi. Which, by
And
the
the
way,
Bumblebee.
I also heard a rumor this week that the question block Lego set that is kind of like Super Mario 64 themed. If you want that, now is the time to get it because it is going to retire soon.
Mhm.
It'll be the
Uh-oh.
first Mario set that's going to be retired because they're still, as far as I know, producing the NES. So if you want that, I would get on that, and that's $199. So it's going to be a hefty cost, but they've got to retire something to make way for something else,
If
I'm
you're
sure.
on the fence, pay 200 now rather than double that when it goes retires.
Thank you. I
Yep.
wish I could. Thank you. Can you tell my wife that? Like, I really, I need
Yes.
you to do that. Rounding out our news here, release and update news. Out now, Arco, Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse, Castaway, and Emio, the Smiling Man, has a demo right now for that Famicom Detective Club game. The demo's out now. It covers prologue and chapter 1 on August 22nd, which is today. Chapter 2 has now been added to the demo, and chapter 3 will drop in 5 days, and then the full game is out next week. So if you're interested in that game, Tim actually played the prologue and chapter 1, and it's on our channel. You can go check that out along with videos about Arco, Yars Rising, which I know Jesse has done. Have you done a video on that one?
Yes, but it isn't live due to
It's not
embargo.
live. Well, that's because it's out on September 10th. That one will be out. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop is coming out September 12th. And who knows when Hatch Tales will be out. It was supposed to be out tomorrow, but, they submitted it for Nintendo review too late.
Yeah,
Great job,
Wording
guys.
on that I didn't
so
like, by the way.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
confused about this one. So the way I saw their message last week, it sounded like they're gold. They're waiting on lot checks. Great, I understand that. That's business. But then they're now also asking for how do you want to be listed in the credits? I'm like, shouldn't you have done that already?
Yeah.
So it sounds like that's your first patch is to update the credits.
To add
So
the
I'm like,
credits.
Oh yeah,
so
I
I
didn't
don't
even
know.
think of that. I didn't even think of that. What the
Bless
heck?
it. Bless it. Bless it.
What the
Bless it.
heck?
So I don't know.
No, what's the wording they had here? They said, we just I'm trying to find exactly what he said. On the cusp. We are on the cusp of submitting it to Nintendo for their final approval. They didn't
Oh, so
submit it.
it wasn't yet gold.
The wording was is they said we're on the cusp of submitting it. And I made that clear with other people saying like they were like, "Oh, they submitted it to Nintendo." Oh, no,
Yeah.
they said on the cusp. And
Yep.
somebody
They're
else made
waiting.
it.
You know what they're waiting on now? They're waiting on names because they waited too long to get them. Man, you can't make this stuff up. Also delayed, by the
But
way.
I was like, but they showed off one of the bonus levels, mutant muds based. Marty doesn't care.
I don't care.
Yep.
Because I'm going to say this, and look, again, direct your hate mail to Marty Estes at G, at. Well, I don't have an address because I don't have an email address of that. Just direct your hate mail somewhere else. Here it is. I don't think the Mutant Muds is a good game. I've tried it. I've
Yeah,
played it. I think it's repetitive and tedious and overly difficult. It
Yeah,
has this
I didn't
difficulty
like it.
that's there to hide the fact that it's not really that fun of a game. So they make you think that playing it again and again is fun. It's not. Zeo Drifter, another story. That's a fantastic game. I love Zeo Drifter, and I actually played a lot of Totes the Goat, as well as Time Killer. But the I didn't like Mutant Mud, so I don't care if it's in there. I just want Chicken Wiggle, and we're not even getting that
Yeah, I saw their
off
video
the
and I'm
bat.
thinking, why?
Anyway,
The other
whatever.
question that a lot of us had in the comments was, you are an experienced publisher. What, why don't you know how long this is going to take?
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
you
I played
know,
Pick Tui.
yes,
yeah.
you've submitted several games to the Switch.
You know,
You know how long this is going to take.
the
So,
Defunci Lucio in our chat said this, and I think he hit the nail on the head. He said about Mutant Muds. He said I thought it was too slow. Wasn't a fan after a few levels. It looks like the 3D was the best part, and I had to say playing it on a 3DS, the 3D was outstanding. It was really good, and also the homage to like, weren't there levels that were homages to like the Virtual Boy and the Game Boy and things like that, like the way
I
they
didn't get
looked.
far enough if there was.
I think there were, and I that was good. Like I mean, I'm not saying like Mutant Muds was not for me. All right, like I expected something different. I the More than anything, what I was frustrated about was the controls. I was frustrated by it; just did not feel right. Felt like you were playing through
yeah.
mud. So there you go. Anyway, speaking of delays, Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, was also delayed this week with no release date information given. Just to basically, we'll loop back and we'll tell you something when we know something. The Pokemon trading card game Pocket Edition, which is for mobile, got a release date of October 30th. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 will be out February 11th. And also announced this week, Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, which is the sequel to Lost in Random. If you remember, we really enjoyed that game, is coming out in 2025. And yes, it is coming to Switch, as well as was confirmed this evening, probably around the time that we were finishing up our notes, that the new oh shoot, the game that Zablanc really likes, Life is Strange. The new Life is Strange is also coming to Nintendo Switch, but no release date was given. Just an announcement that yes, it will be on
Yeah.
Switch,
I thought
and
that was
that's
a
the
known
one.
thing, but
I don't see. I didn't think so. So maybe I'm just saying something people already know, but that's okay. It's just a reconfirmation. It is
yep.
coming to Switch if you want to play it there. That's our news. Let's take a quick ad break from our friends over at Manscaped. Guys, if you're not already over at manscaped.com, oh, sorry, Tim. Did you want to do this?
That's okay. Go ahead.
I didn't really have anything. I was just going to riff.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have
Well,
an ad
then
read.
go right ahead. I didn't find it, so go right ahead.
Oh, well, you're right. We didn't get anything recent, but we do have something that says sizzle alert this summer. Let the only thing smoking at your barbecue be the grill, not your grooming game. Get ready for the ultimate cookout season with Manscaped. Whether you're flipping burgers or cannonballing into the pool, make sure your meat looks neat with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Fire up your grooming routine and keep it cool with Manscaped. Head to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. And let's make the summer sizzle for all the right reasons. And speaking of all of things, Manscaped, this is not in the ad, but we wanted to make sure we talk about it. Manscaped did launch a new product called the Dome Shaver Pro. It's a head shaver that has 5 premium rotary blades, a flex adjust technology, 0.10 millimeter close head shave, up to 90 minutes of runtime, and IPX7 rated waterproofing. It is perfect for all those gentlemen out there who have bald heads and like to keep that nice and clean. So check that out at Manscaped. And again, use
Yeah, that thing
NINDADS
looks like a beast.
yep. It looks like it gets the job done for sure, but use NINDADS for a code to get your 20% off of that and free shipping. as well as use it for the ultimate summertime package that you can get, which includes the Lawnmower 5.0, the Weed Whacker 2.0, Crop Soother Ball Aftershave Lotion, Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, which we all have said is magic, and Boxer 2.0, so you can get some new fresh boxers there. As a treat, toss in the crop mops with your order, a moist towelette made specifically for your beach balls. It's like giving your popsicles a cool down break so it doesn't turn into a puddle of barbecue. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping with NINDADS. Manscaped, the perfect way to get your patties sizzling hot this summer.
Things I never thought I would hear on our show, and that is keep your meat neat.
Yeah, I
And
think my
obviously,
episode a few weeks ago probably took the cake on
look,
that one.
obviously, that's obviously talking about hamburgers. So,
Yes.
I mean, no one likes sloppy hamburger patties. Well
No.
patted,
No,
neat
no.
hamburger patties. So, anyway, here's our question for this week's show. If Nintendo does have another direct this year, which by the way, another direct is rumored, not the museum direct, but there's another one supposedly coming, maybe, who knows? But if they do have another direct this year, what would you want to see in that direct? It may not be as good as the last one, but it could be very informative. Or if they show a teaser announcement for Switch 2, would that make it another banger? Maybe we'll get a Mother 3 announcement. Darth Platypus wrote in and said, I'd want the same thing as any other direct, surprise me with something cool. Hoots said, just give us Silk Song. Just about any other game would message me that Switch 2 ain't coming for a long time, assuming said game is not releasing before the end of the year. And Jason,
Before you go on to the next one, I wanted to make a comment on what Hoot said. Um, I get a little concerned when people say something about, oh, we get another game, it means we're not gonna get Switch 2 for a long time. I don't understand that because Switch 2, although not confirmed, we're assuming this is gonna be backwards compatible. So why would it matter if they released more games on the Switch, where the Switch 2 would just be an upgrade and you can just play your Switch games if they come out on the Switch, or
Yeah,
possibly
like
even,
we're still seeing PS4 and Xbox One games come out
yeah,
4 years,
I
four
don't
years into the
understand
life into their cycle.
why would that mean there's a delay in the Switch 2 if we get more Switch games? I don't get that.
yeah, we actually saw 3DS games get released into 2017 after the Switch
Oh yeah.
launched. They were
Well,
already in the
the
they were already in the
Metroid
pipeline.
Samus Returns came out and while the Switch was out in October of 2017.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I want to play this on the Switch, but I still played it obviously, but it was like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm looking back right now, tons. Metroid, and this is just September, and to the end of the year. Metroid Samus Returns, Yokai Watch 2, Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Bowser's Minions, Fire Emblem Warriors actually came out on 3DS. Do you remember that?
Yep.
I didn't. Mario Party, the top 100, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. So there, while we may not like the two ecosystems existing together, there is absolute precedent for that.
And it'll
They will
still even be
probably
easier
continue
than
it.
before. It's not like, with the Switch and the 3DS where you could, with the Switch be out, you had the choice of being able to play 3DS games on the Switch where you couldn't. Where this is, if it comes out for the Switch and you have a Switch too, you'll be able to play it on your Switch too.
That's true. Very true. I mean, I'm really surprised at some of the names of these games that came out that year. I'd forgotten. You know, I mean, Mario Sports Superstars released on the 3DS like 4 weeks after the Switch launch. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I do think that there's this mentality though out there though of like, oh, it means that they're it's not coming, it's not coming, it's not coming, and I think that's just because I mean, let's be honest, we're all antsy for new information on the Switch 2. It's time. It's for some, it's past time. Um, we're ready and we're waiting. So
It's an interesting mix of people though too, when it's kind of interesting to see like people are like, "Oh, there's nothing to play on the Switch. I'm ready for Switch 2" and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, and then there's another group who's like, "Oh, I could wait a whole other year for the Switch too."
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
crazy.
So Frosticles, Jason Frost says, I'd like to finally see a Xenoblade Chronicles export. I know they said it was there that originally to port it over was too expensive, but after the success the series has had on Switch, there's definitely some spare cash to do it. Hopefully they do it for Switch too. So this kind of segues into our rumor of the week, and we can talk about our predictions as we talk about this. But again, another Nintendo Direct has been rumored. Insider PH Brazil suggested that a new Direct would be happening before the end of the month. Also, consider Nintendo's past. Nintendo's opted usually to hold standard directs in either August or September to shed light on its upcoming fall releases. So that means we would get new looks at titles like Mario and Luigi Brothership, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Mario Party Jamboree, even more Metroid Prime info, right? Could be an unexpected game announcement or two in there. Or is this where we get a teaser of Switch 2? Um, it could just be, as we noted here in our notes, that this is an indie showcase or a partner direct or a game specific direct or a treehouse event, even. I feel like maybe I lean more toward that. I don't know about you guys. Like, I feel like we'll probably get like an Echoes of Wisdom centered direct before it comes out.
Well,
Um,
they already dropped like a 4 or 5 minute video last week showing more information, of which I didn't watch it. I don't want to know anymore.
no, I
Just
don't either.
just give me the game next month. Uh, but so because of that, and I don't think we're going to see this in another direct. And the other games he mentioned can just be pushed out another 4 to 6 minute video, just in the same
Yeah.
way.
Even Brothership.
Even Brothership. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
want to know more about this in a direct. Don't waste your time. If you want to talk about it, do it in a different video.
Yeah.
Talk to me about new stuff. That's what I want to see in a direct. I don't want to be rehashed on stuff I've already been told. And
Okay.
that includes Silk Song. You know, unless you're ready to shadow drop it, I don't want to hear about it. Even if it's going to come out in 3 weeks, put out a
Okay.
different video. You've done date announcement trailers for every other game. What this no different. So yeah, I'm leaning on Indie Direct.
Okay.
If we
Tim,
see
what do you
something, it'll
think?
be indie.
What do you want
I
to see? What do you think we'll see?
I would love to see a Nintendo Direct, of course, especially if we get us a surprise. Like Darth Platypus said, show me something cool. Like what what else do you have up your sleeve? It would always be awesome to see, especially if there's something they're going to drop in, say, December or something like that, or there is, say, these things we're talking about, or if it's, and I joked about it when I posted this question about Mother 3. It is a 30th anniversary of the series, right? Or one of the games, or Mother 3, in fact. Um, so 30th anniversary, would they celebrate by releasing it in English or putting it out on NSO, and then of course without the translation, but who knows? It'd be cool if we got some things and maybe there's some new surprise for NSO. But I am leaning with you guys that it maybe not be anything else other than maybe a partner direct is where I was going to lean to, where it's like, okay, here's Nintendo showed us in their last direct all the Nintendo stuff. Here's all that our partners are doing. So to get ready
So
for Christmas.
I'm going to push back on that.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be a partner direct because I don't think there's anything coming. And here's why. Gamescom, which is going on right now, did not have a category for upcoming Switch game this year for the first time
Bec-
since the Switch launched
because there
because
wasn't
they
enough
said
entrants.
there's not enough submissions for
Yeah,
this to be a
yeah,
worthwhile category.
yeah. Tim, the 30th anniversary is for Mother 2.
Okay.
That
Which,
was
Tim,
released
I get it.
August of '94.
Not every company, not every developer is going to show off their third party game at Gamescom, except for the fact that Gamescom has kind of become the show now that E3 is dead. Like it's Gamescom has become a pretty big deal. You've got PAX and you've got Gamescom. So uh I don't know that there's nothing coming, but I just wonder if maybe it is indie. Here's the next thing I want to see from Nintendo, and this is just me being selfish. I don't want to see anything else from Nintendo until they show me Switch 2. We know where you're going. We know what your games are. I know which ones of them I'm going to buy. I
Yeah,
don't want
like
to see anything until you show me the next system.
yeah, we know Nintendo's first party releases into January, and that's why I don't think there's going to be another first party direct, at least not in September.
Yeah.
The next thing we
I
hear that about that's first party will be Switch successor.
that's what I want it to be. Like I want them to make a big freaking deal about it, and I want them to like today. Like let's do it right now.
Yeah.
It's 9:39 Central Time right now. Drop the trailer at 9:45. Let's go.
Right. So, speaking of Keeley show, did anyone else try to watch Opening Night Live?
No.
I I thought it was supposed to start at 4 o'clock Central. I tuned in at 3:30 Central, and it was thank you for coming. I'm like, did I completely miss it? I
So
don't
when
know.
did it start?
I don't no idea. So I heard Spawn Wave's summary, and there wasn't a damn thing that I cared about, so I
Well,
didn't miss much.
you saved your time then.
I did.
So awesome. Well, guys,
Well,
with
I'll
us,
say this before
go,
you
go
move
ahead,
on.
Tim.
I'll say
Sorry.
this now that you guys presented that information. So if there's not enough things going on for Partner Direct, then I I am leaning more towards a regular Nintendo Direct because we didn't think they were going to show anything in the June one.
That's true.
So if they're going to do a Direct, if the rumor is true, then there's got to be something important for the Nintendo to show for the holidays, which could be instead of dropping one more thing in June, it's one more thing in a Direct, for the holidays. Maybe if something wasn't ready for June, or we got surprises last year, so who knows what kind of
Yeah.
surprise we get. And it
Yeah.
could be a teaser trailer that they drop at the end for the Switch 2.
I'd be
Yeah, you
okay.
mentioned
Yeah, I mean, I'd be
yeah,
okay with that.
yeah, you mentioned partner direct. I think we're not going to see a partner direct until after the successor has been announced, because that's what the partners are going to want to announce. Which games are coming to this new system? So it's like, again, not in September, but but at some point we're going to get the successor announcement. Then we'll see a partner direct, and then we'll see the next first party with what's going to come on the new system. And if we see something in September or next week, it'll be indie.
Right.
Because as Tim said, it doesn't matter what system it plays on, it'll play on both.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Well, let's take a time out. Tim, I think you're the only one of us with timeout this week.
All right. Well,
What you got?
I had to talk about this because I recently
You're,
sent a
you're
question in.
channeling your inner Drew with this one.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just going to mention that actually, because I actually submitted a question to the Dad's After Dark show before they went off the air. But I submitted a question. I asked Drew, who's an avid golfer, I said, "Hey, it's been quite some time since I've gone golfing. And so how would you say someone like me would get back into it? What do I need to do?" And he suggested, "Hey, go to the golf range, the driving range, and warm up there." So I was like,
Play some
cool.
Top Golf.
Yeah, just warm up there, see if you like it, see if you're getting into it, and start off slow because it's an expensive hobby. So start off there, use your old clubs, and then go from there, and then eventually you can work your way up to doing all the other things you used to do, and then probably even get lessons or whatever. So I was like, great, I think I'll do that. And I was thinking about it, and lo and behold, uh, my very good friend of mine, he contacted me and said, "Hey, I finally got an idea for your birthday. I want to take you out to the driving range." I was like, "That's perfect." I was actually thinking about calling you about going to the driving range. So, my friend Scott, he called me up or he sent that message and we got together on last Wednesday. I wasn't on the show last week, so that would have been my timeout last week if I was on. Or so, but yeah, we did that and it was actually really fun. I definitely got to do a lot of warming up and probably get some training, but he helped me. He gave me some, pointers while we were hitting the ball on, what I should do to kind of get back into the swing of things.
Ba-dum-bum.
And but up and yeah, it was a lot of fun. And so we're planning on doing it every 2 weeks, going out to the range, starting out that way for me at least. He goes out to the courses a lot and plays 18 holes every now and then so, but I'm just trying to ease my way back into it. So, but it was a lot of fun. And if anybody in their community is a golfer like Drew, I would love to hear some pointers from them about maybe what they do, if they've been playing for a while or haven't played in a while. So, either post them on the YouTube channel if you watch it here, or come in our Discord or our Facebook channel or wherever you follow us at. If you can leave a comment, I'd love to hear about it. That's my timeout. So
Now
ready
let's talk
for,
about what we've been playing.
there you go.
Jesse has a game he can't talk about, which is interesting. Tim has 4 billion games. So I'm just going to talk about the one game that I played this week, and then we're going to turn it over to Tim. I finished Final Fantasy II. It was
Yay!
Woohoo!
completely and entirely underwhelming.
And did you
And
use that? Did you use the sword we talked about?
yes, I did. So
I
it's
don't know if
done.
there's a way to beat the game without it.
It's done. I have now started Final Fantasy III, and I've played for long enough to know that I'm not really impressed with it either. Man, look, if Final Fantasy was supposed to be the game that saved Square, the follow-ups were crap. Like, I don't understand it.
Have you played games with job systems before?
No, and I
So
don't
that yeah,
like it.
that's the sticker shock for you.
Here's
And
here's what I don't
that
know.
was my problem with 3 and 5.
Okay, so 3, what did the jobs do? They don't do anything. Like,
They make it
if you're
when
if
you're in
you
the
if
dungeon that you have to be tiny, you got to swap everyone to mages,
right, it
because you can't
sucks.
attack.
It sucks.
And
And
then
so the
there are
black and
bosses later on that have like one specific job as a weakness, and if you
here's the
don't know
deal.
that's coming, then you're screwed.
Like, what is the point of making one of your characters a black mage, and that's their job, if you still have to buy all their freaking spells, and then they can only use them twice because of the level? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Like,
the
just
level
have them
limits
learn their spells.
from 1 and 3 down to blue as
I'm gonna
well.
be honest with you that if I had played these games like seriously before Final Fantasy IV, I probably would have never tried 4.
Yeah, and again, that's probably why we never saw 2 and 3
4
stateside initially.
4 was such a wonderful change because I've played 4 and it is a beloved game for me. But like
Agreed.
the earning spells and earning abilities and all of that, it's way better than this. You have to buy lightning. You have to buy cura
And at
or
least
hang on, you got to know where to look and find Fira and Blizzaga or Blizzara and Thundara. Like, you can find them, but there's all kinds of little hidden passages and things. I'm
uh
progressing pretty swiftly through the game, but still, man, it's just, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
that
do
that
it.
that's one of the games that I have not. I didn't complete three. I didn't complete five.
Yeah. So I'm gonna finish it because I'm gonna make myself do it. But also I've been playing a ton of Fortnite with the new Marvel season. It's amazing. I've had a blast with it. I actually played a little bit tonight and last week with listener of the show, Beer Cerveza, who we hear from every now and then. He's great. We leveled up today. It's great. I'm level 22 going into week 2. You know, I'm excited. I love the Marvel emphasis. So all in all, it's good. I can't get a win though, man. The good players came back with the Marvel season. And now
Amazing
the
how that
like
happens.
all the Marvel powers make it really hard to get a win. So but I'm enjoying playing it, and I'll definitely sink, the required amount of to get 140 levels. Like I know I'm level 22, it's just
Wow.
getting started. That's just scratching the surface because they've made it now. Used to you get everything that you wanted by level 100. But now to
Yeah.
keep you in the game and to keep you playing, they're bumping that level cap up. And last season it was 130. If you got to 130, you got all the like there were different styles for each. Fortnite's always done this where they have like 3 tiers of elite styles after you get past level 100, like they're all themed the same way, like they're all like glowing blue. Like sometimes it was like bronze, silver, diamond, or gold, that type of
Hmm.
thing. But now, and those were always what the past 100 was, but now they're like actually taking elements from characters sets like their glider or their back bling or whatever and locking it behind level 100, which I think is kind of crappy, but we keep playing the game, right? So yeah, anyway, Tim, what you been playing, man?
A few things, just dabbling with a few things here and there. But yeah, I got to play Doom plus Doom 2, the update that the ID Software did for their game, where it was a free update for if you owned either one of those. I owned them both, of course, because I love Doom, especially the classic ones. Um, but you got a free update there, and if you owned either one of them, you could go to the Nintendo eShop and download the combination of the two, and you still own the originals as well. It didn't replace it, which I thought was really cool. So if you really want to, play the original the way it was, you can still do that. But I was playing actually the multiplayer part because I got invited by Sean Capri, because him and the other carpool gaming group was doing a multiplayer run of that, and I was right in the middle of playing a game, and I got an invite on the Switch, which is really cool, and just jumped right in, and they were doing a stream of it, and I figured so I went and found the stream they were doing, and they were being funny when I joined. They were like, Tim. So that was fun to play that and experience the multiplayer aspect of it. So I would love to be able to do that with the community sometime too. So be able to do Doom plus Doom 2. So if there's anybody listening who's got one of those games or both, or just goes and pick this combination up, love to hear if you guys are interested and want to play I think you can play up to 16 players at once in a multiplayer.
Hmm.
So looking forward to trying that out in the community. Uh, I also played based on Escobar's recommendation, or he was asking the question of, "Hey, did you play this NASCAR Arcade Rush?" He had posted it in the channel. He said, "Hey Tim, you love racing games. Did you play this one?" And I said no, and I went and looked at it because it was on sale. I think at Best Buy for like $20 or something really cheap, or around that price. And it's actually was on sale in the eShop for the same amount of price where he said it was on sale. And I figured, oh, what the heck, I'll get it because it looked like it was kind of like the Cruisin' USA type thing. type gameplay, but NASCAR-ified.
Hmm.
And so I, booted it up, raced a few tracks, and um I have to say that I was a little disappointed in it. It wasn't as fun. It didn't seem as fun as, say, Cruising USA was. The tracks are cool. They got a lot of cool tracks. The tracks are crazy because it's an arcade-based game. It's not even like it's not NASCAR simulation. It's you're doing all these crazy tracks, almost like a Hot Wheels Unleashed type tracks. But using they're on the same in the same state or same track as the real NASCAR tracks are. And one of the other reasons why I picked it up is it had a Michigan track as well. So I had to pick it up, of course. So, but of course there's Daytona and all that kind of stuff, but they have all
Yeah,
these little
Kansas
crazy.
Speedway.
I have to check. I don't remember that one. But it's I like the premise. I like the ideas. There's still more I got to play to get to see if I like it and if it's worth it. I think it's a good racer for probably preteens and younger, for sure. If they like racing games and or as a family racing game. Um, I think that would be kind of cool to have. But if you're looking for like that Cruising USA or Asphalt or any other type of crazy arcade racing games, I don't know if it's up to par to that yet. Again, I still have to play more of it and see if I like it. But I was first several races I did, I just was like, it's okay." Um, I also played another racing game called Phantom Spark, which we have a first view video of me playing that. I went back to playing that some more, and it's basically kind of like your um, World Championship Edition, the NES one, where you're going in and trying to get best times in that game. You're kind of doing the same thing here with the Phantom Spark, where it's like a wipeout. If you remember the wipeout game or the fast RMX game that we have on the Switch, where you're that gliding ship racer. Um, that you basically can control. And what you're doing here is you're not necessarily racing against people online, uh, live, but you're doing it kind of like asynchronous time trial to see if you can get the best time and beat the game's time and be number one on the leaderboards. So you constantly they make it really easy to do like a repeat, just like World Championships does, where if you screwed up, you're not going to do a good time. You can just hit certain button combination and you're restarting right away. This game has that same type of thing where you're basically racing to get the best time and trying to get the best time in the world. The only complaint I have for this one is that there isn't a friend list yet, and hopefully they update the game to have a friend list so you can compare yourself to friends who may be playing this game as well. Another racing game, F-Zero 99. I played that some more. What got me in there was those 100 coins you get if you go past the finish line. But I got back in and I figured I'd do one race, get my 100 coins and be done. No, I stuck around for like 10 races and had a blast with it. I forgot how much fun I have with F-Zero 99 and played that. And they've added a lot more stuff. You can actually do teams in there, which is really cool. So I'd love to try that one out sometime too, with the community. And then, as mentioned earlier, I did a first look on the MEO, the Smiling Man Famicom Detective Club demo uh, of the prologue and first chapter. I actually didn't complete the chapter while recording. I completed it after I was done recording, so I didn't want to spoil it in case anybody else wanted to play the demo and they have something to look forward to and maybe get their own ending to that chapter, because I think you can get different results depending on how you answer certain questions. This is my first Famicom Detective Club game, so it was new to me, the mechanics of how to approach the game and how to ask questions or how to look at the environment. And how the thing that caught me off guard was basically you can pick what you can do, but you have no idea. There's no indication other than maybe what they're saying. You really got to pay attention to what they're saying and doing to understand what you do next between the options of either asking a question, looking around, uh, making observations, thinking, taking an action on an item that's around you. There's all these different things, and you have to do it in, there's no specific order that, like, you don't just go down the list, you go back and forth between them all. And you can see me discovering this in my first look, like, oh, okay, I see. Then you don't just go down the list, you got to go back to something you already accessed to ask another question or keep asking questions. Because it's not just ask a question and get the whole thing and then go on to the next thing. It's ask a question. All right, what do I do next? Do I ask about another question, or do I think about this, or do I, you're actually having to think about what the next move is. So, and then you make deductions from what you're learning. You do have to remember some things from the story to be able to answer questions from your team, your investigation team, on what it is you observed when you're having discussion of the game. So it was very interesting. I am still looking forward to trying chapter 2, which Marty had talked about launching today while you're listening to this. So I want to play that, get more of it. The
I think
game
that went
does.
live like just before we started
Okay, cool.
because
The
that
game
I
does.
saw Nintendo tweets. Not at 8 o'clock, but it was like 8:15 talking
Okay.
about Chapter Two's live.
Oh, our usual drops for Nintendo drops before we start our show, right?
Yep.
That's around the usual time. You can play through this demo and each chapter as it goes, and the saves do carry over, which is what I thought was really cool. It says it right on the website.
Yeah, I
And
just downloaded the demo while you were talking. I'm like, I'll give this one a try.
yeah, it's interesting. I would love to hear your perspective on what you think about that, interacting with people and stuff. And also, I'd like to find out how your chapter ends, if it actually does do a different ending at chapter 1 for you on how you picked the
Hmm.
responses and stuff like that. So,
Okay, we'll compare notes in a few weeks.
okay. And then finally, more SteamWorld Heist 2, which of course we got a couple videos on that out, of me playing it, the first look, and also a let's play showing more of what I've been doing. I'm also thinking of doing another video talking about character builds, because I think from what I've seen in the community, a lot of people are saying, and I think you even mentioned this last week when I was watching you guys, Jesse and Marty. Did you play this too? No, it's just you, Jesse. When you went
I just
in,
played the first one.
okay, Jesse, when you went in, you were talking about you just kept dying and you felt kind of frustrated because it was like you have to die in order to know what's going on in the game or be able to plan, right?
Right.
And I think Zablanc also
I think,
mentioned that on
yeah,
his.
Blanco said something that he was leaning towards my way of thinking on that.
Yes, he said that
He
in there, and
wasn't,
he also mentioned it on his PlayStation Daily show that he was a little frustrated with not being able to plan ahead of time, and you kind of have to die in order to be able to know what to do again when you make the run again. What I was trying to understand is a lot of people, other people have said this. What I was trying to understand is, um, or the way that I've been approaching it is that it's a heist. Nothing goes as planned. I mean, yeah, you can have a plan going in based on the description. You kind of have an idea what you're walking into. And yes, on some heists, like if you watch like Ocean's movies, they have an idea of the layout of things. So that part I understand. You're not getting any kind of layout. You don't know what you're walking into. But it's a heist. All you know is that you got a description of why they're holding this place and what you need to get from it and what you may encounter as far as the boss of that location. So you got to kind of plan who's going to go in and do the heist based on your crew. And then as you progress in the levels, you also can change jobs. I know you guys are talking about job changing in in the Final Fantasy
yeah,
game, but this one
yeah,
has
again, job
jobs.
systems. Not, no,
This
normally not a fan.
This job system allows you to be able to carry different weapons and then be able to get certain skills from those jobs. And you can actually, if you go back to your original job that your character had, you can actually still keep some of those skills you gained from that other job if you pay for it with cogs. So you earn cogs through the game and other ways and be able to say, okay, now that I'm a sniper who's now become an engineer, and I go back to being a sniper, I can use some of the skills I learned from the engineer to be able to build a force field or build a barricade for myself. So that's a benefit that you can have that you wouldn't normally have as a sniper.
Now you're playing Fortnite.
It's not that kind of build,
Oh,
but
okay.
yes, it's just a quick selection that you can have. So that's the part I like. It's a 2D strategy game where you not only have to strategize how you're going to attack your enemy and the facility and get the loot that you need out of it, you also have to strategize, is it worth getting other items that are there? Um, can I complete the main objective without dying? And if I do lose life, if you can make it through at least to one person to the end, you may not get the full score, but you still get everything you've
Yeah.
done and get
Of
scored
the
and be
levels
able
that
to.
I was able to complete, I don't think I got the bonus objective once.
Okay. Yeah, I like the strategy of it, and especially when I got introduced to the job element of it, I like that strategy to it. So I think I'm enjoying it a lot. And I'm surprised at how many people have said they're a little like not liking it. And but to each their own. Those are the games I've been playing.
All right. Let's move on to the community spotlight then.
All right. This is where we like to shine a light on our awesome community. And first, we like to say thanks to everybody who stopped in on the various channels to kind of hang out with us. So try to name some of the names I saw throughout. We saw Miz, who also re-upped their subscription. So thank Miz for that on there. And Darth Platypus was here. We had Just Being Bruce from Star Wars Dads. Beer Cerveza was here. Mecca is here right now, I think, still. And then we got some people from the other areas, like that. My friend, his wife was actually on there. Maybe they're both listening, but I actually just noticed after I was talking about the golfing, they're actually listening to the show. So shout out to Michelle and Scott for listening. Thanks for listening on that for that. And then who else did I miss? Happy Jack.
Happy Jack.
Yep. And then Friendo. So thank you all for stopping in for while we recorded this. And we always appreciate that and love it when people come and hang out with us. Events and contests, again, this is normal stuff you all get to hear. Just a reminder, we have gaming streams to make sure that you follow us and get alerted. So in case we do go live or we do something that we record and post it, you can follow us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter to find out when we do those things and then follow along. And that the other shows like what we do or other things that we do is like every second Friday or Saturday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern, we do gaming with the community. Um, we start off with like two, three, four of us who are playing a game, but sometimes we'll jump into say Mario Kart and people can join in there from the community. And then anybody who comes into who's in our Discord can come join the call while we're doing that too. So if you don't mind being streamed. We also have the table, which is not streamed or not recorded. That's every third Friday of the month at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we all get together and just talk about our week, our days, our month, anything upcoming, movies, TV shows. It's been told that it's very therapeutic for people. So come hang out if you need that kind of talk or you have nowhere else to talk about games. You can at least come in there and talk about games with us. And then, of course, stay tuned for prizes and giveaways, especially with Extra Life coming up. We'll have a lot. We're kind of saving up some of our prizes for that, some of which will be some cracked gear, so cracked items. So that means, just stuff like the
Not damaged items, but
no, not cracked. No, the actual cracked items like this Nitro Deck Plus. We'll be giving away those. We have a couple. We have the black one and the clear one that we'll be giving away for Extra Life. So stay tuned for that. And plus, we always like to give away stuff to our to people who hang out with us in Discord or Patreon or Twitch or whatever. Wherever you follow us, we try to do prizes there as well. So, All right, on to the questions that we got. The rest of the questions from the community. Mecha Dragon asks, by the time you read this on the show, I'll be on my way to Seattle, which he's here there right now. Have you ever been there? Where would you want to travel to and why?
Never been to Seattle.
Me neither.
Would like
Me
to.
neither.
I think that'd be neat. I've
Yes.
gone to the West Coast one time, and that was back in 21. Went to area around San Diego out there and got to see the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of travel. We do have a planned trip in December to do a cruise leaving from, I think, Houston or somewhere in Texas, into Mexico. I think that's a little bit more than a week, almost 2 weeks. I don't remember how long that is. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we're planning a Japan trip in 4 years. So I don't I don't have any other plans at this time.
Right.
Yeah, the cruise is with family. So
Okay.
mother and so my wife's mother, and then my wife's siblings, and then their significant others.
Cool. Very cool. Yep. I would want if I was there in Seattle, I've never been there either, but if I was there, I definitely would go to the Pink Gorilla games. I keep trying to tell Mecca to go to. And it is a cool gaming store that I would love to see because I just I saw it, I've been seeing it from afar. And we had Kelsey on the show before, and she's one of the owners of that. She's a co-owner of that gaming store franchise. So go check it out.
At this point, is our goal not like if anybody says anything other than where would you want to travel to? Is it not the Nintendo Museum? I
Yeah,
mean,
not
like
like
we've
we
already
talked
kind
about
of talked
earlier,
about
right?
that.
Yeah. It's now that, or when it comes to the US, it'll definitely be that.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
the other
So
goal
the
is to go to
question was
Super
asked
Mario
before we
World.
knew about the museum.
Or
Yeah,
Universal, so we can
yeah,
go to Mario
Super Mario
World.
World. Yep,
Yeah. Super Nintendo World, sorry.
Super Nintendo World. That's correct. All
I'd
right.
like to visit that, but on the other hand, I don't know if I'd be able to do anything because whatever rides they have, I wouldn't fit.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that would be the tough part for sure. We'd have to find out that what that is. All right, Darth Platypus, since people have talked about wanting something like Street Pass on the next Switch, what functions would you want it to have and just a continuation of what we did have or any upgrades and changes?
I want there to be a light that lights up on my Switch. They
Just a
they trained
notification.
us. They trained us with this. The Wii had a light that lit up. The Wii U had a light that lit up. The 3DS had a light that lit up. And then we had the ability to have a light that lit up on the Switch and nothing.
Nothing. That's so frustrating. Like, what the heck happened?
You can use it for an alarm. Who cares? I I don't care about being reminded. I definitely don't care about being reminded to do my fitness workout every day with Ring Fit. With the alarm. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want there to be messaging. I do think that there should be some form of vocal as recorded as well as typed messages between people. I just think that makes sense. That having a Nintendo account but not being able to interact with other people's Nintendo accounts just is weird, and use it for game invites and all that stuff. Basically, use it like Xbox Live was being used on the 360. But I miss the message boards. I miss the weirdness of of Miiverse.
Yeah.
So let's bring that back too.
Yep. Just bad apples ruined it for us.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the little mini games, like the puzzles, the
Yeah.
me quests, and I
It
didn't
gave you
like
something
all
to
of them.
do.
Well, some of them were kind of duds, but I played most of them.
It, yeah, and especially if you were doing daily things. You were on your 3DS every day. checking in either whether you got street passes or you did the street pass games, you know, because you got street passes. So yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, upgrades and changes are definitely just make it easier to make it mine. Make it easier for me to customize it. And I mean, not just on the software, but I think the hardware would be cool if they made it easier for me to customize it, like they did with the 3DS, new 3DS, where you could change the faceplates, right?
Yeah, or or decorate the badge arcade, and you can
Yeah,
you can incorporate items from, but instead of playing a game, have items that are earned through other games that could be shared through the street pass so other people can collect them.
right. Or tie in the new badge system with a new achievement slash trophy slash stamp system on the Nintendo Switch, on the next Nintendo system.
Give us a reason to collect these things.
Yes. So
And tie the icons from your Switch online app on the Switch, where you're able to purchase those with platinum coins. Tie that to these games as well.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
unlock different icon elements and
And
backgrounds.
let us mix and
that's a
match
great idea.
series. Like, I want
Please,
Yes,
Zelda border with a
please.
Mario icon or something.
yeah,
What's
I
wrong
mean,
with
They could
that?
do that now. Come on.
yeah,
Why do you
that'd be
why
great.
do I'd love to be able to do my own. There's so many because I was like, oh man, I'd love to be able to put this background with this foreground image and it'll be freaking awesome.
Yeah, doesn't make
To
sense.
make my own icon. So yeah, and yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Like I said, that allows us to make it ours. Customization throughout. It would be awesome. All right. Another David B question. You are at the Nintendo Museum grand opening and get to play one game with Shigeru Miyamoto from any point in the Nintendo history. What game do you pick and what do you talk to Miyamoto about while you are drinking Mountain Dew and eating pizza?
I don't know that he would be drinking Mountain Dew and eating pizza, but that I mean, that's a wonderful fever dream. That
Justin would be doing half of that.
that is a wonderful fever dream visual that like ropes in like 14-year-old me and me now. Super Mario 3. That's the game.
That's a
Super
good one.
Mario 3. And the thought, like, how did you get from, like, that's the conversation. How did you get from Mario 1 with that world? Like, how did you build this world out? Like, what's the process for this? Like, how did you get from 1 to 3? And what were things that didn't make it in the game that you wanted to make it in the game?
Love it. Jesse?
I was thinking more like Donkey Kong, and while it has been documented, I'm sure there are stories uh, that have been untold about, because he would map art on graph paper and then have to have the coders turn it into in-game art, and I'm sure there's something with Fubar somewhere. They had to have. That's the type of
Mhm.
story I'd want to hear.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would pick Pikmin. Probably the latest one, 4, to have him play with me. I would pick that one and talk to him about Pikmin because I've never played any of the Pikmin games, so I would want him to try to talk me into why I should play them. And-
Yeah, why do you love Pikmin so much? Why are you this fixated on this concept?
Right? I mean, I love the idea that it's an RTS game, but I just never got around to playing any of them. So I have them now that they come out for the Switch, and hopefully one day I'll get to play them. But
And
I
all
might
four of
I
them are
might
on the Switch now.
yeah, I got them.
Yeah.
I got them all.
I've actually
So
been thinking about replaying 3 again since
I was thinking about just playing
it's
backwards, starting from 4,
that's
going
not a bad way to
3,
do
2,
it.
1.
You just know that you're with each game you're losing quality of
Right,
life.
yes. Yep. Or just playing 4 and just being,
But the thing with 4, like a lot of the quality of life that was just added in 3 baked in.
Mhm.
Initially you think, well, why do they take it away in 4? But it's an ability you earn later.
Okay.
So
Well, I
I
won't
do
know
like how
that.
they did that.
If I play 4, I won't know that. It'll just be all new to me. So,
Exactly. Which is why 4 is a good place to start.
right. All right. I don't know. Like I said, if anybody else is listening and convince me why I should be jumping on Pikmin 4, then I should.
And again, I think I put 50 hours into that game before I was done with it. So there's a lot of content there.
That's a game on my backlog. I definitely want to play for sure. Just there's always something new that comes out that I'm like, I'm gonna play that first. All right, that's all our questions, Marty.
All right, that brings us to the end of the show. We want to thank you for hanging with us for episode 492 of Nintendo Dads. And as we close out the show, we want to see a huge thanks to our Patreon producers. That's Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, Solo Something, as well as our well over 100 plus other patrons who keep the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, including our newest patrons and those that have re-upped recently as well. A huge shout out to our 14 Twitch Prime subscribers too, and over 1,450 Twitch followers and 7,600 YouTube subscribers. Again, the reason we say this is because we would not be here without any of you guys. Thank you, each and every one of you, for making this dream work. You can check out our website, nintendodads.org, for lots more stuff, including Spotify podcast feeds for all of our shows, like Star Wars Dads and the Retro Logic family of podcasts, our latest YouTube videos and tweets, all of our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. All the more important as we are now 8 weeks away from the big 500th episode. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, manscaped.com, where you can get 20% off your personal grooming needs and free shipping anytime you use the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show. And a reminder, wherever you catch us in your podcatcher of choice, be sure to leave us a 5-star review, some written words, some comments, some nice stuff. It helps people find us. It pushes the show up the charts. And that's really what we want to do, right? So, for me, for Tim, and for Jesse and Justin, this has been episode 492. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am? Nintendo Dads Podcast.